Hey folks, do you have any 2021 quarters lying around? Maybe in that jar of loose change on the kitchen counter or stuffed in the cup holder of your car? Well, hold on tight, because one of those little coins with a P on it might just be your golden ticket. That's right, a 2021 P Washington quarter could be worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1 million bucks. That's not a typo. That's a real deal, life-changing kind of find. Now, before you go flipping over every quarter in your couch cushions like a maniac, let me walk you through exactly why this coin is so special, what to look for, and how one lucky find could put you on Easy Street. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, and let's talk coins and cash. Okay, so let's break it down. The 2021 Washington Quarter is part of the American Women Quarters program, which started in 2022, but in 2021, the last design featuring Washington crossing the Delaware was released. Now, the P mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Millions of these were made, but here's where it gets juicy: not all quarters are created equal. See, in coin collecting, it's all about the errors, the condition, and the rarity. And there's one version of the 2021 P Washington quarter that's so rare, so bizarre, so absolutely mind-blowing that it sold for $1 million at auction. Why? Because it had a very specific minting error combined with a perfect condition grading. Now, this wasn't just a smudge or a nick. This was a full-blown minting mutation. Imagine a coin that looks like it got caught in a coin-making tornado. The strike was off-center, the die was doubled, and to top it off, the planchet, that's the blank metal disc they use, had a composition error. It was struck on the wrong metal, which is extremely rare, especially for modern coins. All these quirks made it one of a kind. Collectors went wild. Bidding wars happened. And before you knew it, the final price hit 7 figures. Boom. $1 million. The condition of the coin. That coin didn't just fall out of someone's pocket and roll into the record books. It was pristine. Mint state 68. That's like the coin equivalent of winning the genetic lottery. Most coins come out with dings, scratches, or just normal wear and tear. But this one? Perfect. Like it had never been touched by human hands. So if you've got a 2021 P quarter, don't go spending it just yet. Look at it closely. And if it looks strange or absolutely flawless, it might be time to call in the experts. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've got $1 million treasure or just 25 cents. Let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was doing what most people do, ignoring my change. I had this bowl in the kitchen where I just dumped all my coins. Pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, you name it. One day, I decided to go through it, mostly because I was too lazy to go to the store and I wanted to scrounge up lunch money. I started flipping coins and out popped this shiny 2021 P quarter. It looked sharp. Almost too sharp. Now, I didn't think I hit the jackpot or anything. But I remembered reading something about rare modern quarters, so I tossed it in a plastic sleeve and set it aside. A few weeks later, I sent it off to get graded just for fun. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth $50. Not bad for something I almost used to buy a bag of chips. Never underestimate your pocket change. That little clink-clink in your pocket could be the sound of early retirement. So let's get down to what you should be looking for. Look for that P mint mark on the front, right next to Washington's ponytail doubling on the letters or numbers. Misaligned images, or even metal discoloration, your eyes alone might miss $1 million hiding in plain sight if it looks too good to be true. That's a good thing in coin world. Perfect shine, sharp edges, no scratches. Send it off to be graded, and remember, don't clean your coins. Seriously. That's like polishing an antique with sandpaper. It destroys the value. As of today, that top-tier 2021 P era quarter still holds strong at the $1 million mark. And other less dramatic errors from that same year? They're pulling in anywhere from $50 to $5,000 depending on condition and type of error. That's still a solid payday for a little piece of change. Collectors are paying big bucks for unique modern coins, especially ones from 2021, because it's a fresh mintage with limited high-grade errors in circulation. The market's hot and it doesn't show signs of cooling off. So now is the time to dig into your spare change and see what treasures you've been ignoring. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. That humble little 2021 P Washington quarter? It might just be your ticket to a 6-figure payday. And even if it's not the $1 million version, there are still plenty of valuable coins out there hiding in your pocket, your car, your junk drawer, you name it. Check for mint marks, look for errors, and never assume a coin isn't worth your time. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's a treasure hunt. And in this case, the treasure might already be in your pocket. If you learned something new today or just had a good time hearing me ramble about pocket change and lottery luck coins, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, more stories, and more strategies to help you spot coins worth money. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next big find. Alright fellas, stop what you're doing and check your pockets. Your couch cushions. Your old coffee cans full of loose change. Why? Because you might be sitting on a quarter. But not just any quarter. I'm talking about the 2012 Denali National Park quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. Yep, the one with the big old grizzly bear on it, and get this, it's worth $1.1 million. You heard me right. A quarter that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a new truck, and still leave enough left over for steak dinners for life. Now before you go dumping your coin jar all over the floor like I did, stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly why this quarter is worth so much, what to look for, and how I found myself accidentally sitting on one. Literally. True story. And if you're into coins that are secretly gold mines, well buddy, you're in the right place. Let's rewind for a second. The year was 2012. The U.S. Mint released the Denali National Park quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. Now most of these quarters? They're worth 25 cents, just like you'd expect. But every once in a while, one gets struck just a little differently. A little more rare. A little more perfect. And that's where the magic and the money happens. Now this rare gem came out of the Philadelphia Mint, and it has a little P on the front just under Washington's bust. That's your first clue. But not every 2012 P Denali quarter is valuable. Oh no. What we're talking about is a special variety that collectors and dealers go bananas over. So what makes this coin worth over $1 million? Three things: rarity, condition, and error. That's the holy trinity of coin collecting. This particular Denali quarter has a super rare double die error on the obverse side. That's the front of the coin for my newer viewers. You can spot it around the lettering, especially in the words United States of America and In God We Trust. If the letters look a little thicker than usual or like they've got shadows, ding ding ding, you just hit the jackpot. Now here's where condition comes in. This $1 million baby was found in what we call MS 69 grade condition. That means it's practically flawless. Like the Brad Pitt of quarters. Not a scratch, not a blemish, nothing. And getting the kind of condition straight from circulation? That's like finding a T-bone steak in a vegetarian buffet. And how do I know all this? Because I had a Denali quarter once and I lost it. So one afternoon I'm cleaning out the junk drawer in my kitchen. You know, that drawer every guy has with batteries, rubber bands, mystery keys, and coupons from 2009. I'm tossing stuff into a bowl and I see this shiny quarter with a bear on it. Thought it looked cool. I set it aside, thinking I'd look it up later. Fast forward 2 days. My nephew's over, digging through change to buy candy. I say, hey, take a few quarters from the bowl. He grabs some, says thanks, runs to the corner store. Later that night, I remember the bear coin. I check the bowl. Gone. I call my sister, so yeah. I gave away a potential $1 million Denali quarter for a pack of gummy worms. I haven't looked at candy the same way since. If you think you've got one, here's what you need to do. First, don't spend it. Seriously. Not even on gummy worms. Second, get a magnifying glass and check for doubling on the front text. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and United States of America. If you see doubling, you're halfway there. Third, check the condition. No scratches, no wear? You're getting warmer. And finally, if you really think it's the real deal, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll let you know just how special your coin really is. I get it. Sounds nuts. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition drive value through the roof. Serious collectors will shell out big bucks to own that one impossible-to-find coin. It's like owning the Honus Wagner baseball card of quarters. These days, collectors are watching quarters more closely than ever, especially ones from the America the Beautiful series. So don't ignore your change. Don't toss it in a jar and forget about it. And for the love of all things shiny, don't give it to your nephew. All right, folks, here's the deal. You could be holding on to a fortune and not even know it. That 2012 P. Denali quarter could change your life if you know what to look for. So check your pockets, dig through your change, and take a closer look before you spend anything that's got a bear on it. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips on coins that are secretly worth a fortune, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more stories, strategies, and million-dollar coin surprises coming your way. So until next time, happy hunting, and remember, never underestimate a quarter with a grizzly on it. It might just turn you into a millionaire. Hey folks, gather around because what I'm about to tell you might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. You ever dig through your loose change and think, man, I wish one of these quarters could pay off my mortgage? Well, guess what? It might. Because there's a 2015 P. Homestead quarter floating around out there with a jaw-dropping value of $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.2 million. For a quarter. Not a gold coin. Not a diamond-studded doubloon. A quarter. From your couch cushions. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on man, this has got to be a joke. I wish it were. But this is very real. That little coin with the teeny tiny house on it, the water pump, and a couple of stalks of corn? That's not just a tribute to Nebraska's roots, it might just be your ticket to early retirement. So buckle up. Grab a cup of coffee or a cold one, I won't judge, and stick with me as we deep dive into everything you need to know about this modern-day treasure. We'll talk value, what makes it special, how to spot one, and I'll even share a little story about the time I almost threw away a small fortune. No joke. This one's gonna be good. Alright, let's get the basics out of the way. The 2015 Homestead Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, a fancy name for a program where the U.S. Mint released coins featuring different national parks and historic sites. The Homestead Quarter represents the Homestead National Monument in Nebraska, honoring the Homestead Act of 1862. Now the design's pretty straightforward. On the back, you've got a log cabin, a water pump, and 2 ears of corn. It screams old-school farming vibes. And you know what else it screams? Value. But only if you've got the right one. If you look closely, you'll see a little letter under the word "In God We Trust." On this beauty, you want to spot a P. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. The 2015 P. Homestead Quarter is the one turning heads in the coin world. Why? Because of a special error. Some of these coins were struck with what's called a double die. Basically, the design was stamped slightly off-center, and it created a doubling effect on some parts of the coin, especially around the water pump and windows. This mistake? It made certain quarters freakishly rare. And rare means expensive. Now not every 2015 P. Homestead quarter is worth $1 million. That'd be nice, right? But only the error coins with perfect doubling and pristine condition. We're talking MS67 or higher. Those are the ones bringing in the big money. Some collectors are willing to pay insane amounts because only a handful of these beauties exist. Think about it like this. It's like the Pokemon holographic Charizard of the coin world. Everyone wants it. If you can find it. And those who have it, well, they're sitting pretty. There are also smaller error variations like snow on the roof, extra corn leaves, or weird die chips that look like the pump is leaking. Seriously. Coin nerds like yours truly give these things names like snowy roof or leaky bucket. It's hilarious but true. Alright, now let me tell you about the time I almost threw one of these quarters out with a wad of fast food napkins. So I was cleaning out my truck. You know how the center console turns into a bottomless pit of random junk? I'm pulling out gum wrappers, a melted pen, 3 ketchup packets, and about 6 quarters stuck together with what I hope was soda. I nearly tossed the whole mess into the trash, but something told me to take a second look. I wiped off the top coin, and lo and behold, it was a Homestead quarter. I figured, hey, let's take a peek. I noticed it had that P mint mark. I squinted a little harder, and I swear the water pump looked a little double vision-ish. My heart started pounding like I'd just found the last slice of pizza. I ran inside, grabbed my magnifying glass, and compared it to a few pictures I'd seen online. Now, I don't think I had the jackpot version. Mine had a few scratches, probably from all the Mountain Dew spills, but I ended up selling it for a few $100. Not bad for a quarter that was almost marinating in a sea of ketchup. Always check your change. And maybe clean out your truck more often. So you're probably wondering, alright buddy, how do I find one of these golden ticket quarters? Mint state condition is key. That means no scratches, wear, or soda stains. doubling around the windows of the house, the pump handle, and even the corn. Some have a snowy roof effect or weird bumps around the edge. If you think you've got the real deal, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade is your best chance at scoring that million-dollar payday. You don't need to go treasure hunting in the Rockies. These quarters are out there, in circulation, in jars, in change at the gas station. Check your piggy banks, dig through coin rolls from the bank, or even trade with friends and family who think you've lost your mind. Join local coin clubs, check Facebook Marketplace, hit up flea markets. One man's just a quarter could be your early retirement fund. So there you have it, folks. The humble 2015 P. Homestead Quarter. From a tribute to American pioneers to a coin that could change your life. 1.2 million bucks just sitting in someone's glove compartment waiting to be discovered. And hey, if I nearly threw one away with ketchup and gum wrappers, imagine what else might be out there. So before you dump your change jar at Coinstar, give it a once-over. You never know what kind of treasure you've been ignoring. That ordinary-looking quarter might just be your golden goose, and if you enjoyed this wild ride through coin history, if you laughed, learned something new, or now feel the urge to buy a magnifying glass, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got more coin tips, money strategies, and stories from the trenches that'll have you checking every penny you find on the sidewalk. Share this with a buddy who's always complaining about gas prices. Who knows, the answer might be sitting in their pocket. Thanks for hanging out, and remember, your next million might just be 25 cents away. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and treasure seekers. Now listen, before you toss that handful of quarters into a vending machine or feed it to a parking meter, stop right there. You could be holding on to a 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter with a little P mint mark that could be worth not a buck, not 10 bucks, but a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.3 million. For a quarter. That's 5.2 million% profit if you're doing the math. Try getting that kind of return on your retirement fund. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the world is a quarter from 2016 worth more than a Lamborghini and a lake house combined? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. So grab your cup of coffee or sweet tea and hang out with me for the next 50 minutes while we break down the mystery, the madness, and the money behind this legendary quarter. All right, let's get down to business. First things first, what in the world is the Cumberland Gap quarter? It's part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. This specific coin was released in 2016, and it honors the Cumberland Gap National Historical Park, which stretches through Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. The front of the coin features the classic George Washington profile, but the back, that's where the magic happens. You've got a frontiersman staring westward, musket in hand, with the phrase "First Doorway to the West" etched above. It's a seriously cool design, especially if you love a good Daniel Boone type vibe. Now, this coin was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The one we're talking about today is the Philadelphia version, identified by that little P mint mark. It's usually sitting just under the "In God We Trust" part on the front of the coin. That P might look tiny, but don't let it fool you. It's the symbol that could make you a millionaire. Great question. Not every 2016 P Cumberland Gap quarter is worth a fortune. Most are worth face value, maybe a few bucks in mint condition. But there's one particular version that has collectors and investors foaming at the mouth and opening their wallets wide. This one has a rare and dramatic mint error. And in the coin world, errors are like winning lottery tickets. We're talking about things like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, you name it. The million-dollar baby here has a combination of ultra-rare minting flaws. There's a double die obverse, meaning the front of the coin has doubled images on the lettering and features. On top of that, this coin was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal disc it was made from wasn't the standard quarter blank. This makes it stand out both visually and under the microscope, which is exactly what collectors go nuts for. Add to that the fact that it's in pristine condition and graded MS 68 by PCGS, and boom, you've got yourself a $1 million quarter. And when it was auctioned, it didn't just sell fast. It sparked a bidding war and hit the $1.3 million mark faster than you can say change jar jackpot. Okay, let me take you back a few years. Picture this. It's a rainy Saturday. I'm digging through a shoebox of old coins I kept from road trips, vacations, you name it. I wasn't expecting to find anything fancy. Mostly just state quarters, a few wheat pennies, and a Canadian dime that snuck in there somehow, but then I pulled out a Cumberland Gap quarter. I remembered hearing about it and my heart jumped a bit. I squinted. There was the P mint mark. I rushed to my desk, grabbed a magnifying glass like some kind of dollar store Sherlock Holmes and started inspecting every little detail. No mint errors. No doubled lettering. Just your average 25-cent piece. Still, I kept it. And now every time I get change back at the grocery store or coffee shop, you better believe I'm checking every quarter like I'm Indiana Jones on a treasure hunt. And I tell you what, it's become a full-blown hobby. A fun one. My wife calls it the Great Pocket Change Adventure, and yes, she laughs at me, but you know what I always say. She'll stop laughing the day I pull that $1,000,000 beauty from under a couch cushion. Now, if you want to join the ranks of hopeful quarter millionaires, here's what you should do. First, look for the P mint mark. Then check the coin for any signs of doubling, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look kind of blurry or appear to have shadows, you might have a double die. Next, see if the coin feels or looks weird. Is the metal different from a normal quarter? Is the edge thicker or thinner? If anything seems off, it could be a misstrike or a planchet error. If you spot something suspicious, don't just toss it back in your change jar. Take the baby to a professional coin dealer or send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. It costs a little bit, but if your coin is the one, it could pay off big time. Right now, the buzz around error quarters is huge. Coin collecting has surged over the past few years, especially with younger folks getting into the game. Everyone's chasing the next big find, and the Cumberland Gap P quarter has become the white whale. Even regular uncirculated ones are going for a few bucks online. But if yours has that golden combination of rarity, condition, and mint error, you're in the big leagues. Collectors love historical connections too. And this coin checks all the boxes. It's got a design rooted in American frontier history, it's limited in number, and it tells a story. And if there's one thing collectors value, it's coins that tell stories. Want to show off your coin smarts at the next family barbecue? Try dropping one of these nuggets. Did you know quarters weigh exactly 5.67 grams? If your quarter weighs more or less, that's a clue something's up. Or how about this? The America the Beautiful series includes 56 designs, one for each state, territory, and DC, but only a few have high-value errors. Or this gem, Cumberland Gap, was the first great gateway to the West, used by pioneers, settlers, and adventurers. Kind of poetic that the coin is now a gateway to a millionaire lifestyle. So what have we learned today, folks? Always check your change. That plain-looking quarter could be your ticket to a brand new life. The 2016 P Cumberland Gap quarter may seem ordinary, but with the right error and condition, it becomes a coin collector's dream and your golden goose. My advice: keep a coin jar. Buy a cheap magnifying glass. Turn coin hunting into a weekend hobby. You never know when that $1,000,000 moment is going to strike. It's fun, it's simple, and who knows, you might be the next person we're talking about in one of these videos. And hey, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt with me, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button like you're hitting the jackpot. Tap the bell so you don't miss out on the next big coin tip. I've got more rare finds, funny stories, and money-making coin strategies coming your way. You're not gonna want to miss it. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a regular old quarter and thought, yeah, this little coin could buy me a house, a truck, a fishing boat, and still leave me enough to live like a king for a year? No? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about one sneaky little coin that could do just that. I'm talking about the 2010 P Mount Hood quarter. That's right. One measly 25-cent piece that might be hiding in your change jar, under your car seat, or glued to the bottom of your kid's piggy bank, and it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. You heard that right. $1.4 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ain't no way a modern quarter could be worth that much. But my friend, not only is it possible, it's happened. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is worth a fortune, and how I once made the mistake of spending a rare coin on a pack of gum. Yeah, it still stings. Alright, let's break this down. First, what is the 2010 P Mount Hood quarter? It's part of the America the Beautiful series, minted to showcase the stunning national parks and sites across the U.S. The Mount Hood design was the fifth release in 2010, and the P Mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. Now, most of these quarters are worth, well, a quarter. Maybe 50 cents if it's shiny enough to blind your Aunt Carol. But just a few, have errors or conditions that make them incredibly rare, and when I say rare, I don't mean, oh, it's kinda hard to find rare, I mean sell your truck, we're going treasure hunting rare. The specific coin we're talking about today sold for $1.4 million due to a few key things. First off, it was in pristine, I mean absolute laser cut, fresh from the heavens condition. Graded MS-68 by a top grading company. That's like the coin equivalent of finding a unicorn that makes its own coffee. It had a mint error. A crazy 1 in a million type of error. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, maybe even a misaligned die. That's the kind of stuff collectors drool over. And when rich collectors drool, they open their wallets faster than I opened my fridge after Thanksgiving. Now let me tell you about the time I almost cried over a quarter. I was at a garage sale, digging through a little box of coins someone's grandpa had collected. Found a bunch of state quarters, nothing too wild, but I noticed a 2010 P mount hood that looked unusually clean. Sharp edges, shiny as a new nickel at high noon. Did I take it home and look for errors like a smart man? Nope. I bought a Mountain Dew and a pack of jerky with it later that day. And I will never stop kicking myself for that one. Every time I see Mount Hood, I don't think of the beautiful scenery, I think of the quarter that got away. Now, let's get into the details of what to look for so you don't make the same mistake. First, check for that P mint mark. If it's missing, you might have something even rarer. Next, use a magnifying glass or a phone camera zoom to look at the lettering, especially Mount Hood and E pluribus unum. If there's doubling, meaning the letters look like they have a shadow or are printed twice, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Also, check for the rim. If the design is off-center or the edges are thicker on one side, that's another sign of a valuable error. And if you spot any cracks, chips, or odd metal blobs, that's not damage. That could be a strike-through error, another moneymaker. Collectors go crazy for clean, mint error coins, especially in modern series. Why? Because the US Mint is usually so dang good at quality control, errors are rare. So when one slips through, it's like finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence. You also want to think about condition. If your quarter looks like it's been through a wood chipper, chances are it ain't gonna fetch 7 figures. But if it's clean, sharp, and shiny, it graded. Fast. Now here's something I learned the hard way. Don't clean your coins. Ever. Not with a toothbrush, not with dish soap, and definitely not with baking soda and vinegar like my cousin Randy did. He turned a $100 coin into a paperweight, and speaking of Randy, let me tell you what he did when I told him about this Mount Hood quarter being worth $1.4 million. He dumped his entire 5-gallon change jug onto the kitchen floor and started sorting like a man possessed. His dog wouldn't even come near him for 2 days. But hey, worth a shot, right? All right, my fellow coin hunters, let's bring it home. The 2010 P Mount Hood quarter could be your ticket to financial freedom. It's real, it's out there, and who knows, it might just be in your pocket right now. Check your change. Look through your old jars. Ask your grandma if she's got any quarters in that junk drawer of hers. And when you find one that looks promising, do your homework. And remember, this world of coin collecting isn't just about making money, it's about stories, history, and the thrill of the hunt. Plus, it gives you an excuse to carry around a magnifying glass without looking too suspicious. If you got a laugh, learn something new, or you're now eyeing every quarter like it owes you rent, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I drop tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and personal tales of triumph and total coin-related heartbreak. So don't miss out. Smash that subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and drop a comment telling me the wildest coin you've ever found. Who knows, you might just be the next one to cash in big. Till next time, keep your eyes sharp, your change close, and your quarters under close inspection. Hey there folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever spent a quarter without even thinking twice about it? Maybe you used one to buy a gumball, feed a parking meter, or toss it in a wishing fountain hoping for that new boat, big raise, or maybe just a good night's sleep. Now imagine this. One of those plain OL quarters sitting in your change jar right now could actually be worth $1.5 million. Yep, you heard me right. $1.5 million. That's not a typo. We're talking life-changing money just chillin' in your couch cushions. So today, we're diving into one particular shiny little gem, the 2018 P Apostle Islands quarter. A regular-looking coin that has collectors drooling and wallets shaking. Now hang tight, because by the end of this video not only will you know exactly what to look for in this coin, but you'll also hear a wild story about how I almost gave one away for free. That's right. I nearly handed over $1 million coin like it was a Tic Tac. So grab your coffee, kick up your feet, and let's talk quarters. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The Apostle Islands quarter was released in 2018 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series. It's got that classic Washington portrait on the front, but flip it over and you'll see a beautiful design featuring a kayaker paddling near the sea caves of Devil's Island, one of Wisconsin's Apostle Islands. Honestly, it's a real piece of art. Makes you want to pack up the minivan and go camping, but what makes the 2018 P Mint Mark version so special? First off, that little P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Most of these were struck for circulation like any OL quarter, but here's the twist. There are some super rare error versions floating around out there. And these aren't just minor scratches or smudges. We're talking full-blown, collectible-grade errors that drive collectors absolutely nuts. One of the most valuable types is known as a double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying the front of the coin, the side with Washington's face, was struck twice in a way that causes the letters or details to appear doubled. Sometimes it's subtle, but in the rarest cases, you can actually see it with the naked eye. Combine that with a super crisp strike and nowhere, and boom, you've got yourself a potential $1 million quarter. Now before you go digging through your junk drawer like a raccoon in a garbage bin, let's break down exactly what to look for. First, check for the P Mint Mark. It'll be just under "In God We Trust" on the front. Next, examine the lettering, particularly Liberty and "In God We Trust." If it looks like those words are ghosting or have a shadow, you might have a double die. Also, look at the kayaker on the back. Some rare versions have strike-through errors. That's when something like grease or debris got in the way during minting and left part of the design missing or blurry. Those quirky imperfections can drive the price way up. Now let me tell you a quick story. Last summer I was at a flea market. You know the kind, old license plates, handmade candles, a guy selling grilled cheese out of a van. I'm digging through a box of coins when I find a 2018 Apostle Islands quarter. Didn't think much of it. Just figured, hey, nice design, why not throw it in my change? Later that day, I was showing my niece how to use a vending machine and almost used that very quarter to buy a root beer. No joke. A root beer. Something in me said, hold up, you nerd, maybe check that thing first. Took it home, threw it under a loop, and sure enough, doubled lettering. Clear as day. I about dropped my sandwich. Of course, I had to get it authenticated, and while mine wasn't the holy grail $1.5 million coin, it still came in at over 5 figures. Not bad for something I nearly fed to a snack machine. Those are the top condition MS68 or higher coins, graded and slabbed by pros like PCGS or NGC. Mint State 68 is no joke. That means practically no flaws, sharp edges, perfect shine, and strike so clean it looks laser-etched. If you've got one of those, you're not just lucky. You're blessed by the coin gods themselves. Believe it or not, they've popped up in bank rolls, pocket change, even in quarter boxes from casinos. One lucky collector found theirs at a gas station. The cashier didn't even know what he was giving away. It's like the lottery, but instead of scratchers, you're using your eyeballs and a flashlight. So let's wrap this up, coin fans. That 2018 P Apostle Islands quarter may look like every other coin in your change, but if you know what to look for, it could be the difference between 25 cents and $1.5 million. Look for that mint mark, check the details, and if you think you've got a winner, get it professionally graded. Trust me, even if it's not $1 million, it could still be worth enough to fund a vacation, pay off a car, or finally build that dream shed your spouse keeps saying no to. And hey, don't be like me. Don't almost spend your treasure on a root beer. If you liked this video and you want to keep learning how to turn your change into cha-ching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more tips, tricks, and hilarious true stories about coins worth real money coming your way. Don't miss out. Click the bell too so you're first in line when I drop the next video.